There we go. Excellent. Well, welcome everybody to another episode with our Elevate Together community. And if this is your first time here, you are so welcome to join all of us and the wonderful things that are brought to the community. We're a community of like-minded people that gather to share information, knowledge, and the opportunity to elevate our game to another level. And so part of what we are contributing to these talks is wealth management. So we talk about wealth in many different areas of our life, which include finances, health, and other aspects. So the purpose of our chats are really to cover these different aspects. My name is Paula Corday, and I'm the motivational money maven. Part of my contribution is to bring information on finances. So this is experience, knowledge, and information that I've collected throughout my career that I'm able and willing to share with the community. So if you're not currently part of the community, again, we welcome you. Get together with a person that invited you to see how you can become a part of this on a regular basis. So today we're going to be covering topic of debt. So debt can be a very scary word for us. Last week, we talked about, most of us as consumers, as Americans, as adults, have a tendency not to read the rules to a game before we get started. In this particular game, it becomes a detriment to our ability to contribute to the winning piece of us, to us being victorious in a game with credit and how that credit can become debt and impact you negatively. I'm not going to say that debt is a bad thing, right? Uncontrolled debt is a bad thing because that's when things begin to spiral and you're like, wait, how did I lose control of this? Or how did I go from owing $1,000 to all of a sudden now I owe $1,500 and the $500 is all interest, right? So let me back up a little bit. I wanted to share, for me, one of my core values is contribution. So my contribution to you guys is bringing information on financial literacy, but also being available to you as a community for any questions or concerns that you might have. If I don't have the answer, we'll find it together, okay? Let's start with credit in general or credit cards. There was a question about how to build up credit. Well, we'll start off first with, we're covering specific topics today about debt. The credit building system, you can build credit in many different ways. Basically, credit cards and the systems that we have in place are based on an advanced loan type system where they give you a fine print and determine that you are a reasonably trustworthy individual that seems like they would take care of their obligations. Last week, we talked about credit scores. When we look at people's credit scores, it tells me, when I look at people's credit scores, it tells me a little bit about their spending habits, their saving habits, and more importantly, are they somebody that keeps their word? Now, I don't exclusively measure somebody's trustworthiness on their credit score. It is a piece of it. However, we're also cognizant that life happens, right? All of us have gone through this extreme pandemic where people have lost jobs, have lost their health, have lost their ability to stay on top of their financial game for one reason or another. And yet we have individuals in our society that have thrived financially where it didn't impact them as much. And it was mostly due to the habits that they have of saving and spending. So credit, when you look at the origin of the word credit and translate it into its original root, I think it's credite, I believe, it means trust. So an institution is trusting you by advancing money and allowing you to prove that you can continue to maintain that trust because you're going to pay that money back. Can it elevate your game? Can you live a better, more comfortable, more luxurious life by using credit? Absolutely. However, when things get out of hand and we're unable to take care of that, that's where we begin to struggle. And that's where I go back to my whole point of, did you read the fine print? Most of us get a statement in the mail and just really don't read it. So they send you this little statement that says, hey, by the way, we're about to increase your interest by 2, 3, 5, or 10%. So you go from 0% to 9% to all of a sudden you're paying 23% interest and you don't know about it. Why? Because you didn't read the fine print. And this is not let me point my finger and make you feel guilty about it. All of us are guilty of it because I get those cards or the mail and I'm like, oh, okay, what do I need to know? When you swipe your card, you activated and agreed to that new statement that came in. It says, sure, I'll play by your rules, even though I didn't read it. So there are ways, we're going to be talking about healthy ways to build your credit. How do you start? How do you rebuild? And how do you go from zero to getting credit that is worthy to open up opportunities and doors that you don't currently have? So the main focus of today is looking at the scary part of credit, looking at the impact that it has on households. So this weekend I attended a seminar where we're all collaborating on strategies on how to help Americans, middle America, succeed financially. How do we change things up so that we can have an opportunity to live quality lives and create an opportunity for financial prosperity for everybody? So one of the things that was uncovered is that 8 out of 10 Americans currently have over $40,000 in debt per household, over $40,000 in debt. The impact of this is that most of these people foresee having this debt for the rest of their life. And this does not have to be the case, right? So with proper knowledge, we're going to learn what strategies and what techniques are going to work in order to break that cycle. How do we reverse engineer things to the degree that you say, hey, listen, if I make $275 a day for the next year, every single day, I can break 6 figures. So if we break those numbers down and say, oh, that's not that big of a deal. That's making, less than $300 a day is going to put me in a 6-figure earner position. As entrepreneurs, we know that our business brings value and can contribute to our community and create these systems for us to be multiple 6-figure earners once we break it down into little chunks. The scary part about debt is that elephant in the room we don't talk about, right? One of the things that we don't normalize is talking about how much do you make a year or how much do you owe? Because we've got people that are spending money that they don't have to impress the Jones. The Jones don't even care. Like they got enough money to last generations to come. So they could give 2 cents for, you having a Louis Vuitton purse and upgraded nails because they've learned the system of managing money and maintaining it. So I believe that some of the biggest resources that we have, number one, time. We have to be able to invest time into ourselves and into what we're learning. The second thing is knowledge. If you have the blueprint on how to make money, how to build your home, how to create successful businesses and create successful outcomes for yourself and your family, it does not matter if you lose money. It does not matter if you lose your home, but it matters if you don't have the knowledge. So today we're depositing knowledge into your knowledge bank. This is the deposit that's going to make a difference and impact you long term. So whether you're gathering knowledge about your business or about how systems work, we want to deposit that knowledge because that's the greatest gift we can give each other, sharing the information of what worked. Can we share what didn't work? Absolutely. However, that applied knowledge is going to equal the success that you're looking for. The applied knowledge of what you gather and how we come together to leverage what we know is going to impact how we move forward as a community. So let's look at depositing knowledge and sharing what we know so that we can all move forward together. So again, scary things about debt, the monumental growth that it shows. By the time that you pay your credit card 5, 6, 7 years down the line, and you're only providing minimum payments, guys, it's going to take you 5 to 7 years to pay off a credit card with just the minimum payments, because you're paying twice or 3 times the amount on that credit card based on being trained of, oh, just pay us $25. You owe $1,000, but if you pay us $25, we'll be okay with that. The challenge with it is that the system is rigged and it's not in your favor. Credit cards and loaning institutions will loan you the money and trust you and trust that you're going to be paying back that money. However, they're going to get, it's rigged in their favor. They're going to get paid somehow. They're going to get interest, they're going to get late fees, or they count on people to at some point in their life have some type of hiccup in their financial life that they're going to say, oh, of course we can renegotiate for that, and we're going to charge you a fee. If you look at the statements that are being sent to you on a monthly basis, all that fine print includes late fees, fee for this, fee for that, renewal fees, all that fine print, and the ability to go through that and have the patience is going to help you win that game. When you take out a credit card and it promises you miles, trips, hotels, dinners, or waiving of fees, that all comes as a cost. And whether you're the one that's paying it or not, there is a price that's being paid in this. So one of my mentors and great humans in the world, Danelle Delgado, says, who loses if you don't win? So this is the time that we get to know information that will help us win so that we don't have to think too hard about who we're negatively impacting if we don't have the knowledge, the rules, and the tools to win. So when it comes to debt, there are many theories that can be applied to how to handle it. You could do a snowball effect where you're paying the ones that have the highest interest first, and then paying those same amounts to wipe out the rest of the debt that you have. So whether you follow Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, Grant Cardone, or whomever you're following in your preference, my guidance to you is to start somewhere, have a plan, put it in place, and determine, why is it that I need to shift my credit? Most Americans are stuck in a spot that a $400 purchase or a $400 emergency is going to put them in the negative. Why? Because we're not a saving nation. We don't save money for today or tomorrow on a regular basis. And it is time for us to start changing that. Whether you're saving $10, $400, or $1,000 a month, I would urge you to consider making a financial impact in your household. And that's where I would start building my credit. So to Tommy's question, like, how do you build credit? First and foremost, I want you to take care of yourself. I would urge you to take care of yourself. And let's start by building some liquidity. So you can build credit, and you can start a system where you can take out a credit card. If it's building up credit, it's that trust. The longer you have a credit line, it's going to show how many years you've been trustworthy and responsible for managing that money. If you're unable to manage $1,000, I'm not going to give you 10. I'm not going to give you 100,000 or 1,000,000 to manage because you're struggling with managing $1,000. So my first recommendation is set a personal goal for you to put $1,000 into a savings account. And when you're done, let's take that next step. Because now that you've accomplished step 1, then you're ready to move on to step 2. If you get to $1,000 and you're so excited about how you're going to spend it, you're saving the wrong way. And I'm not saying, save $1,000 or $10,000 and don't plan on saving it or on keeping it. However, the intentional saving also can come with intentional spending. So this could be your uncommitted money. I don't call it emergency funds because emergencies will show up, trust me. I call it my what if fund. What if I want to take my family on vacation? What if I want to take my husband on a special date? What if I need to purchase a new refrigerator? Now I don't have to put it on credit. I have options. And I think we have an opportunity to create positive options in our life that you can put something on credit or you can put it on cash. But now that you have $1,000 in your account, you can also open up a line of credit where you have a credit card and you can purchase items. I believe there are 3 types of consumers that they usually look at with credit cards. People that usually pay off their entire bill at the end of the month, people that pay the minimum payment at the end of the month, and the third one is people that don't have a credit card. And there are programs that look at providing you that opportunity to start from zero. And those are secured credit cards where you put $200 to $300 into the account and they track how you spend it. They'll give you limits. And then as you prove your trustworthiness, they'll increase your credit line. The people that pay it month to month are not typically the people that the credit card companies are looking for. Yes, they'll give you the credit. Yes, they'll extend and give you higher credit limits. However, you're no fun because you're not playing their game. You're not making them enough money for them to be excited about you, right? I want to be that consumer, right? Yet they do charge companies. Every time you swipe, the companies get charged for whatever it is that you are purchasing. The second time a consumer is the ideal consumer for credit cards because it's the people that pay the minimum payment. Well, now you've accrued interest, you've paid the fees through the vendors, and if you're late, they're going to bring some fees to you and say, hey, listen, love that you're playing with us. However, it's going to come at a cost. So similar to a casino, the game is rigged, in my opinion, in favor of the house. The house always wins because they're going to make up. That's how they're able to give away jackpots because collectively people that play contribute to that jackpot. So in this particular case, the credit card companies are getting their money to be able to give you the prizes and the miles and everything else that they're looking to create so that they can win too. So our community, our society is based on the credit worthiness and the trust. The ability to manage your money is going to be key to opening up doors that you don't have access to right now. If you go to a bank and request a loan and your credit score is 450, chances are hands down, regardless of your circumstance and your income, they're going to say no. You can have a lot of money available and they're going to say, even though you have that amount, your credit score indicates that you have not been trustworthy or something happened to negatively impact your score. The good thing is that it can be repaired. We have systems that will help you repair that credit to reestablish that. So from a space of knowing and education and better practices, as you develop better habits, you can reconnect, reestablish, and heal that credit score because now you've become a different human. You've come from a different level of energy, a different level of understanding that now that you've gone back and read the rules and are ready to play the game, there is still hope. There are tools, there are professionals, and there are systems that are put in place to help you not only build credit, but rebuild credit. So one of the partnerships that I am very fortunate to have in my community is with a company that deals with helping people get rid of debt. So recently we helped a teacher that had $297,000 worth of student loan debt. Her payments were approximately $1,800 a month. That easily ate her breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This person was stressed out to the max. They were able to restructure her payments to less than $400 a month. The power of knowing what you're doing and being able to restructure and take care of it, this person is able to breathe easier, save easier, and impact her home in a way that she hasn't been able to do in many years. So knowing how to save money and manage it is going to bring peace of mind. And I know for me, I'm able to breathe easier when I know that I have options. Last week we talked about detrimental life decisions. If your loved ones are in a situation where it's a quality of life question based on the type of surgery that you can afford with them or for them, and you don't have the money, are you willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that they have those options? If the answer is yes, I urge you to continue plugging into this community so that we can really dive into the step by step. How do I create wealth? How do I manage my wealth? What are some of the nuggets that you guys are looking for that would positively impact you moving forward with your financial wellness? We're looking at wealth management. However, similar to the other systems and habits that we have in our life, we could possibly use some encouragement, some cheerleading, some instruction of how to go from step 1 to step 2, and so on and so forth. So the biggest encouragement that I have for you guys is life happens, and how prepared are you for those changes in life? Are you ready to embrace them? And can we help you deal with debt? So I'm super excited because one of my favorite people is on here joining me. Hillary England is also one of the associates that I work with in my community, a financial strategist. And we are willing to help and contribute to your life in a positive way and bring you information that'll make a difference. So I think I kind of took off on that topic. But do you guys have any specific questions or anything else you'd like to cover today? It can be a participatory event, I promise.
Oh, it's great job, Paula. Great information. Loved it. Thank you for your time today.
You're very welcome. So Hillary, go ahead.
I think there's one thing I want to add to this debt side where you were mentioning that it's rigged. I do see it that way as well, mostly in part because, so at the church I used to attend, I did help they had like a Financial Peace University because the church believed in being debt free. So Financial Peace University is part of Dave Ramsey's program, but they purchased it for the entire church campus. So being who I am and what I do, I came in and I helped teach one of the classes. But when you look at it overall, whether you have no credit, bad credit, or even good credit, it's all based on debt. So no credit says, hey, you've never taken out any debt, so we don't know if we can trust you. Bad credit says, oh, hey, you took out a lot of debt or some debt and you weren't able to pay it back, so we can't trust you. And then if you have good credit, it's saying, hey, you did a good job paying back the debt you owe. So it's all a little bit in favor of all of the corporations who are giving out these credit cards. So it's just really fascinating to look at it from that way. But I do see it as rigged in the sense that it's all about debt, good or bad, it's still debt.
Yeah, I mean, there could be good debt because you're going into mortgage, or when you get into a bind or a pinch, or you don't quite have the amount that you need to pay for an item that you must have, then having the credit card or the extension to that credit or loan up front will make things easier in your life. However, I want you to be aware of what's available on the table. Read the rules, know the game, and is there a way to beat the system? Always. If you're playing a game, there's always a way to win if you know how to win how to regroup, and how to come back and play the game by the rules that they've designed. When you crack that code, or when we crack that code together, you'll be able to get the miles, the free dinner, the trips to Vegas, the trips to Australia, and live a life of benefit, but you must know how to play the game. And this is true not just for credit cards, it's for financial means and knowing how to use money as a tool to navigate the world and play the financial game so that you and your family can gain from the benefit of triumph and victory and saying, I've learned to manage it. I'm doing so much better. And I'm tagging my friends and telling about how I can do better, be better, and sharing that with them, right? So guys, that's all I've got for you today. I do appreciate your time. I value the fact that you guys are showing up and that you're listening to this video. So if you are listening to our chat and have specific questions about how you tackle debt, how do you create better credit, how do you establish better habits that are healthy for you and your family when it comes to finances, please reach out and let us know how we can support you. Again, we welcome you to the Elevate community. There is no cost to joining our community. However, I believe that the value that we bring collectively, and it is on purpose, together, we come together, our knowledge, our spirit, and our ability to love on one another so we can live a quality life and inspire each other to move forward together. So thank you for your time, and we will see you next week.